Good morning, everyone. Welcome to St. Peter's this morning. So for the coffee concert this morning, delighted to welcome back Simon AInge, probably well known to most of you, if not all, who's going to put together a little programme for us, I hope.
Thank you. Nice to see you all. You're all sat strategically, which is really sensible. Of course, do feel free to move around. You know, if it is too quiet for you over there, you can move. I mean, we're supposed to encourage audiences to do this, aren't we now? The Birmingham Symphony Orchestra, in fact, I'm probably not going to say anything about any of the music. I'm just going to get you to look it up on Wikipedia while I play it on your phone. At least you've got a signal here, which is amazing. It's so nice to be here. Normally, I launch into my first piece without saying anything, but it's a bit long, so I thought you might be a bit confused. And I think, should I applaud at any point? I'm going to play two pieces to start with. The first one's a Fantasia in C by Bach. Well, it's a bit of a fake, really. The first dozen bars are by Bach, and they were found in the Anna Magdalena Bach book, written in 1722. And cleverly, a German called Wolfgang Stockmeier has elaborated the piece from 12 bars to about 14 pages. With the original idea and two new ideas as well. You know, it's clearly very Bach-like, and it's the most wonderful thing to play. But it's not Bach. The original idea is Bach, and then it's kind of Bach pastiche. But it's a great piece nonetheless, and I really enjoy it. I heard my organ teacher Ian Imlay play it in 1985 for the first time, and I was just blown away by it then. So thankfully, I can still play it. So there's that, and then I'm going to play a piece of Sweelinck, and Sweelinck was a 17th century Dutch keyboard player, organist, teacher, based in Amsterdam for most of his life, and he wrote masses of music, and he wrote lots of themes and variations. So this is variations on a well-known theme of the time, "My Young Life Hath an End." It stops and stops. It's various variations that get faster and more complicated. And so on, and I can just about keep up. So it will stop and start a bit. So don't feel the need to applaud between the variations. You might want to applaud after the long Bach piece, and then wait till the end. It gets quieter and quieter, and it'll peter out, and it'll be a bit not very obvious when to applaud. But I think it's very quiet and gentle at the end, and maybe that's the clue. I'll wave at you, actually. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I get applauded a lot these days, and I don't know whether it's always appropriate, but you're very welcome to, whatever you think. This is after services and things. There's a bit of a trend now, isn't there, to applaud the voluntary? But it's really, really kind of you. But sometimes I think, gosh, that really wasn't worth applause. Very too generous. Anyway, Fantasia, kind of by Bach, and then a theme and variations by Sweelinck. You were serious about the hand wave, weren't you? I forgot, sorry. Yeah. Oh, gosh, modern audiences. I think fantastic. Anyway, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed those. I'm going to play 3 short pieces by Bach now. They're from the Orgelbüchlein, the little organ book, and it's a set of 46 chorale preludes written between 1708 and 17 when Bach worked in Weimar, which is a beautiful town I had the privilege to visit last autumn with my daughter and a friend. It was great. Bach had much grander plans for this collection, but he only managed probably about a third of what he intended, I guess. And the collection was written to represent different parts of the church's year, so naturally I'm going to play some pieces that are related to Easter. They're all based on Lutheran chorales, hymn tunes, and very free extensions of those. So 3 of those, 3 chorale preludes by Bach. Then I'm going to play a prelude. I think I'm going to play the prelude and postlude by Dyson, George Dyson. He's somebody worth looking up actually on Wikipedia. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, that's Percy Whitlock. Hang on a minute. Yeah, George Dyson. He studied at the Royal College of Music. He got his FRCO at 16. His diploma, Royal College of Organist diploma. He was in the First World War. He was a schoolmaster, college lecturer, a great teacher of music, studied with Stanford, and he famously wrote a manual on hand grenades, apparently, in the war. Then he was invalided out in 1916. He won an Arthur Sullivan Prize for Composition, a Mendelssohn Scholarship. He was a phenomenal composer, and he's definitely somebody to revisit, kind of one of these semi-unknown but incredibly skilled, phenomenal composers and performers and teachers, really importantly. So this is his prelude and postlude for organ that I'm going to play. So we've got three pieces by Bach, 3 short chorale preludes, and a prelude and postlude by George Dyson. we're doing well for time. Thank you. My last piece, before I tell you about my last piece, I just mentioned my previous organ teacher, Ian Imlay, who many of you will know well. Ian was brilliant at, the kind of, I don't know if it was an unintended put down, but it was definitely a put down. I said to him when I played that in the 1980s, what do you think of that piece, Ian? He said, sounded like I belong to Glasgow. So I thought, I won't tell you that before the piece, but anyway, it was a nice little anecdote, and there are many concerning Ian, bless him. My final piece is by Percy Whitlock. It's the folk tune. No, it's not. It's the fanfare. I beg your pardon. Started with the Fantasia, finished with the fanfare. Percy Whitlock was assistant organist at Rochester Cathedral for some time in the 1930s, I think, and he was diagnosed with tuberculosis in the late 20s, I seem to remember, and died at a very young age of 42. His music became, kind of largely forgotten, but then revived in the 50s and 60s. And it's wonderful music. It's really evocative of the 1930s, the harmonies he uses. He was a brilliant player, clearly. I don't know whether he taught or not, but again, another person to look up on Wikipedia, Percy Whitlock. And this is his fanfare. It really needs a much bigger organ than this, but you've kind of unwittingly enlarged your organ by having the walls plastered, because the sound is now much larger and more wonderful. And I think this organ more than does justice to the piece. I don't know about my playing, but it does sound really nice, and it's a piece that's a real favourite of mine, and a fitting end to the recital. And I'm really pleased to see you all, and nice to see all these familiar faces again. And I hope you can hear that I'm really enjoying myself as I play. So thank you once again for coming, and fanfare by Percy Whitlock.
Yet again, you've produced some very interesting music, which probably we wouldn't normally hear from the organ, because so I think it's been an excellent programme this morning. Just a few reminders. Our next coffee concert is the 18th of May, where we have the Pearson family from St Peter's, violins and piano. So a programme which I think we're all looking forward to. Also need to highlight the tabletop sale with plant and cake sale next Saturday here in church from 9:30 to 1:30. Obviously come along and do your shopping here, but also if anyone's able to assist with offering some cakes, if you'd like to speak to Angela or Judy after today, and let us know what you're able to help. Thank you for coming. Thank you to the team looking after the tea and coffee, and to Bobby, who's been masterminding the sound and the live stream of the concert. So again, can we show our appreciation to Simon for his efforts this morning?